That started really weird, McLovin. We are here, Tarps off NFL Sunday Live. We had an amazing week 1. We were running the Tarps off Mega Bowl, so we couldn't do any NFL coverage. But McLovin, what's going on, buddy? How we feeling today?
I'm feeling real good. I actually get to watch some football today. We were having the trek back home from Canada that day last Sunday, so I'm ready to fucking go.
Yeah, buddy. And you know what? It's always tough when you're traveling, especially these days in COVID. There's like you need PCR tests and all this other trash. But it's good seeing you on the battlefield here, McLovin. Now let's hop into it right away. The Thursday nighter went down, and the Washington football team improved to 1-1, taking down the New York Giants, who start 0-2 for the fifth straight year. Daniel Jones, the next Eli Manning? I don't think so.
Not even close. No, this team is an embarrassment. They always have been. Ever since, Mario Manningham, David Tyree, they have not been the same at all.
No, man, it's been tough to watch. I mean, the Giants were such a prominent team, and they had those couple Super Bowls and Coughlin era and all of that, and just seeing what they are now, it's pretty terrible, man. It's pretty rough to watch. But if you're Heineke, his first career start, he goes 34 of 46, 336, 2 touchdowns, did have a pick, but my God, not a bad debut for him with Ryan Fitzpatrick on the IR.
Oh yeah, and the legend of Heineke all started with that playoff game last year against Tampa Bay in the playoffs. He earned his right to get a contract extension, and now with Fitzmagic on the IR, he's given a chance, and he really did impress. I mean, he threw the ball 46 times. I mean, you don't throw the ball 46 times unless you're pretty confident in yourself. 336, 2 touchdowns, that one pick, but I mean, he's the one who started that drive to lead to Dustin Hopkins kicking that game-winning field goal. So the future is pretty bright in for the football team, whatever the hell they're going to call themselves next year. But
I can't believe they still don't have a name.
I know, like, come on, you had a full year as the
Yeah.
football team and a full off season, and you still don't have a team name. Like, come on, man, figure it out.
Yeah. It's a bit excessive. It's a bit excessive. I thought they would have had a name by now. They don't. I think it was the Cleveland Indians. They're changing their name to like the Guardians. Like that makes sense. Like
Yep.
they
I
they,
mean, at
they
least
got
they
a
have
name.
at least they have a name change. They're not just a Cleveland baseball team. So
Yeah, exactly. They actually went to it. Mac Jones season. That didn't go so well last week there, Meth Bear, but we'll see how that all plays out. Going right into week 1 here, though, the Las Vegas Raiders are taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They Raiders are coming off an awesome overtime win versus the Ravens. Derek Carr threw for 435 yards in
holy
that game.
wow.
Threw 2 touchdowns and had an interception. He was just like, that guy's arm is so big. The Vegas Raiders are back, and they're gonna be a tough team to play against today. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, they pulled out a tight win over the Buffalo Bills. Really put Josh Allen in their back pocket in the second half, and then the special teams made the difference. McLovin, how do you see this one going down today?
I mean, it's two totally opposite teams. I mean, the Steelers are basing their entire team this year off their defense. They still have Ben Roethlisberger. I think this is probably his last year. Juju Smith-Schuster still can produce, but I mean, I got the Raiders in this one. I think Derek Carr, like you said, 435 yards against that Ravens defense. I think the Steelers don't have as great of a defense. It's still pretty good, but not as great as the Ravens. If he can do that against Baltimore, he's going to dominate today. Darren Waller, absolute baller, top 3 tight end in my opinion, up there with Kelsey and Kittle. So I think the Raiders pull off. I think it'll be a close game, but Raiders got this all day.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are going to pull it off as well. I don't know. Roethlisberger showed flashes of still being pretty capable out there, but I think this has got to be the last year for him. I'm going with the Raiders here. I think they got themselves a pretty good team. out there in the desert. Now move along here. We got or who are you gonna no, we both went Raiders. Okay, good. So we got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams won their first games. Although for the 49ers, Raheem Mostert is out. That's tough. But I wanted to ask you, McLovin, on the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo. You think I mean, I know they won and everything, but do you think it's a real safe gig for him right now?
Not even close. I mean, the 49ers, they traded up to the number 3 overall pick to get their future quarterback. If that doesn't tell you that they're not comfortable with Jimmy G leading the team, then I don't know what that sign is. I mean, Trey Lance, amazing quarterback. They even put him in for one play last week and he threw a touchdown, one throw, one touchdown. Like, come on. The kid's
Yeah.
got a bright future. I mean, Jimmy G, like, I love Jimmy G, obviously Patriots fan here, but I mean, his job is still up for grabs. I mean, he put up 41 points last week, still not safe. That's scary if you're Jimmy G.
Yeah, I mean, their defense could have given them a lot more, in my opinion. They still allowed what, 33 points, was it, to the Lions or something like that?
To the Lions, 33
Yeah.
points.
Yeah. You can't be doing 33 points to the Lions. Their defense needs to tighten up. I hope Jimmy G keeps his job, but we'll see. I think it's always not a great idea to rush rookie quarterbacks in, but we'll be able to talk about that a little later on here. Houston Texans 1-0 taking on the Cleveland Browns. Tyrod Taylor still the man behind center. Deshaun Watson remains out after all the trade requests and then all the accusations this summer. I'm shocked there hasn't been a resolution one way or the other. But one thing I gotta say is Tyrod Taylor and Brandon Cooks really seemed to have something there week one. I think he had 135 yards receiving. And you know what? Tyrod Taylor didn't look too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna give him too much credit. I'm gonna give him some credit because we went out there. He proved that he can still be a quarterback in the NFL, but it was Jacksonville, so I mean, like, we're not gonna go doing cartwheels over his performance, but he's still
No.
impressed. I mean, but Brandon Cooks, I mean, he hasn't looked the same since when he was in New Orleans. He's on, I think, his third team ever since he left New Orleans. He went to New England, then to LA, and now he's in Houston. But I mean,
Yeah.
132 yards on a Houston Texans team like this, that's still pretty impressive. So
Yeah. It's certainly not bad, man. I mean, like you said, on this crappy, supposed to be crappy Texans team, they definitely had some chemistry. What is up, Jordan? What
Jordan,
is happening, buddy? Hope all is well. Talking a little NFL football. Now, the Cleveland Browns, they start 0-1. I thought Baker Mayfield looked okay. Missed a couple throws in the opener. Didn't have a touchdown. I don't know. I'm the jury for me on Baker Mayfield is still out. I'm not 100% sold on him, and I haven't been. I've
he
always kind of
usually
been a Baker doubter.
he usually starts slow. I mean, he still threw for 321 yards, but I mean, like, no touchdown throws. It was all the running game in that one. Nick Chubb, 15 carries for 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's still up there, top 10 running back in the league. He's just a force to be reckoned with. I
Fact.
mean, it was a disappointing loss. I mean, you're up in the fourth quarter on the defending AFC champs, and you just let them just run all over you. Tyreek Hill still top 5. He's so freaking fast. You cannot cover him one-on-one, double
Yeah,
cover
he's
him all
crazy.
day. I mean, Travis Kelce, obviously, it was a frustrating loss. They
Yeah, the
only
Chiefs
lost
are a
by
fucking
4.
handful, man. The Chiefs are a handful. The Browns gave them a good game. Um, I didn't even pick in the 49ers and Eagles game here,
I got
McLovin. So first
49ers in
off,
that one.
yeah, I'm taking the Niners as well. In this Houston Browns game, I'm taking the Cleveland Browns. I think Nick Chubb will have himself a day. That's my prediction. What do you got?
I got Cleveland in this one. I mean, it's their first home game of the year. I just read something saying that Cleveland fans had been lining up for 2.5 miles for tailgating 17 hours before the gates opened.
Hell
They're
yeah.
ready to go. I mean, dog pound ready to freaking strike. I think that Cleveland's going to get back on track today.
Absolutely. Now we have the Denver Broncos taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Teddy Bridgewater impressive so far, McLovin. 28 to 36 last week, 264 and 2 touchdowns. What did you make of him?
I feel bad for Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he's been
Me too.
bouncing around. I thought that he was going to find a home last year in Carolina. Obviously, they wanted to go in the younger direction. They got Sam
Mhm.
Darnold now. He gets
Yep.
traded to Denver. He beats out Drew Lock for the starting position, so good for him. Obviously, the defense stepping up for Denver. That's been their main forte ever since, back in Peyton Manning when he was
Yeah,
there.
even when they
So,
won the Super Bowl there, their
yep.
defense carried them.
But
Yep.
he was great in week 1. Obviously, it was the freaking Giants, so like you're gonna
Yeah.
impress doing that. But he looked great. I mean, 2 touchdown passes, over 250 yards. So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do this year for them.
Yeah, and if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're hoping Trevor Lawrence has a bit of a bounce back. Now, they threw the ball 51 times last week. He only completed 28 passes. He had 332 yards. He threw 3 touchdowns, but also threw 3 interceptions. The Jaguars defense needs to help Lawrence out. Get him a
Mhm.
turnover. Get him a friggin', get him something, get him a short field to work with early. Put this kid in positions to win football games. They like that they had something's got to give with them.
Yeah, I mean, when the Jaguars back for Super Bowl 52, when they went on that run to the AFC Championship game, Blake Bortles was their freaking quarterback. It was all
Yeah,
defense back then, and that defense helped Bortles win those games, especially in the playoffs. So that's going to be the biggest thing for them. I mean, obviously, rookie quarterback, number 1 overall pick,
yep.
expectations through the roof. You got to help them out.
Have to, McLovin. You just have to. But I'm taking the Denver Broncos today. I think they improve to 2-0.
Yeah, I can't, in good conscience, take the Jaguars any week. So go
No,
Denver.
yeah. Picking the Jaguars is not smart money. Now, moving on to another couple of 1-0 teams, we have a division rivalry today. The New Orleans Saints are taking on those Carolina Panthers. Jameis Winston dominated the Packers last week. I know he was only 14 to 20, but he had 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns on 148 yards. Like that, how is that even possible?
uh, you know why? A good run game and good defense, I guess. But you know what? It looked made. We'll talk about the Packers in a bit here, but I mean, boy, did Aaron Rodgers look out of sync.
Oh
That
my.
was that wasn't nice. That wasn't nice to see. But you know, the the Saints, they didn't even get to play a home game, right? They lost their home game last week. What up, Alejandro?
Yeah, so the Saints, obviously with the hurricane, they had to move their game to Jacksonville for that one. So they still haven't played in the Superdome.
No, that's too bad. I mean, it's always with Louisiana, they always run that risk, right? We'll be all
Mhm.
right here thinking shit with me. Yeah, y'all chill on my Packers. We'll be all right. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers just needs to get back to doing what he does. But, the Saints here, Saints or Panthers, this is a tough one for me. Um, Sam Darnold didn't look bad in his debut,
Yeah,
looked
I mean,
steady enough.
yeah, 279 yards, not too shabby. Obviously, for your debut, you want to make a good first impression. I'm pretty sure he did that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, he definitely did all right. But I'm gonna go. This is a tough one for me. This is just like legit flip a coin. I'm going with the Saints.
I, me too. I mean, this Panthers, they got they
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 got
got the win
McCaffrey
last
back,
week, but
but
I mean, let's be honest. They put up 19 points. They played the Jets.
yeah, they should have.
It wasn't
That's
an impressive win. They got the win, but I mean, come on.
come on, exactly.
Tyler
I'm
Duff
with
saying,
you.
"Let's go Jets." I mean, come on,
Go
bud.
Jets. Come on. No Jets. No
No
Jets
Jets.
here. Now moving on, McLovin, we have the LA Rams taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Matthew Stafford looked pretty good so far with the Rams, buddy. 3 touchdowns on 20 of 26 passing, 321 yards. Stafford, I don't know, man. I thought that was a sneaky good pickup.
I knew right away. I mean, I wanted him to come to New England when he was put on the trade block. When the Rams went all out and they got him, I was like, they're already a dominant offense with a guy like Jared Goff, and he
Yeah,
sucks. So, I mean, you put a guy like Matthew Stafford, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league,
in that McVay
in
offense,
McVay
like
offense, holy shit. I think the Rams have a very good shot this year for at least in the playoff. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could see them go far this year. I'm not big on the Colts. I know he didn't have a bad week last week. He threw a couple touchdowns. I think he had like 250 yards passing, Carson Wentz, but I'm taking the Rams here all day and twice on Sunday. I'll take them twice right now on Sunday. The Rams to win.
Oh yeah, big Rams victory. Carson Wentz, I do not have any expectations for him at all. They're so low that there's just none. So
Yeah,
give me the Rams all day, 2-0.
bang. Love to see it. Now we have a huge AFC East rivalry. The Buffalo Bills taking on, they're going down to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins, who started 1-0 with a big win over your New England Patriots. It was kind of, a defensive battle, but the Bills are looking to bounce back after a big time frustrating loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think Josh Allen looked very good in that game, and it was just it was very frustrating from a Bills fan standpoint.
Yeah, your brother probably wasn't happy, was he?
No, he was losing his marbles, dude. He was losing his marbles. Like not good to be losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
That's a game they should have won. Now, I will say the Miami Dolphins have Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know. I'm not sold on the way that he plays. I was interested in them acquiring Deshaun Watson. You guys can say whatever you want to me, baby, but until he's behind those bars, he can still throw a ball. I don't know. I was just like, they have the great defense. I mean, this Miami Dolphins defense has had a turnover in 23 straight games, dating back to like almost a year and a half. Yeah. Like their defense is for real. But one thing they have a hard time with is mobile quarterbacks. I see Josh Allen getting out of the pocket today and causing havoc for the Miami defense. I'm going with the Bills today. I'm going against my Dolphins. I think the Bills bounce back.
I cannot believe that those words came out of your mouth. You're a big Dolphins guy, and you're going against them. Like you said, I'm
Dan
not
Marino doesn't approve right now. Look at
Jack is really having a tough time with all the Tua slander going on right now. I like Tua, but I just think Josh Allen. I think that was the main concern last week. He wasn't himself like he was last year. He's got a mega cannon for an arm, and he's a big fucking guy. He needs to start running more. So
yeah, no, that's what I think. They're going to get him out of the pocket, and I think the Dolphins defense is going to struggle. That said, Tua and first round pick Jalen Waddle, they were really starting to get that old Alabama chemistry back in that game. Like they linked up a few times. Look at that. If the Dolphins are going to be successful, though, they have to be able to keep Josh Allen under pressure and in the pocket, and that's tough to do.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Josh Allen's going to run all over him. Stephon Diggs will probably have a big day today. Bills will, they'll even it out. They'll go 1-1.
All right, moving on to the other two teams in the AFC East. The New England Patriots are taking on the New York Jets. Jets suck. They've been pretty bad, McLovin. But if you're the Patriots, you look at Damian Harris last week. He cost them the win. Definitely. I mean, that fumble was just brutal when the Dolphins pulled that out. I think it was Xavier Howard too, who forced the fumble.
He punched that out.
There was that huge controversy in the offseason. And one of the few times in the NFL, a team actually has a player come speak out about him. And instead of just trading them and slandering them, they just worked it out together. He ends up rewarding them with a massive play at the end of last week. How did you feel about Mac Jones's first NFL start? And I got to be honest with you. I'll give my pick right now. The Patriots are going to win this game.
Yes, they will win this game. They'll bounce back. And the thing about New England or Boston just itself is that you always look at the leader after a loss like that. And Mac Jones is going to be your leader because he's your quarterback one. I thought he had a very great game. That was not on him, the loss. Obviously, it's going to be growing pains. He only put up 16 points on offense, but that wasn't his fault at the end of the game. He is the one who led us all the way down to the 15, and it was Harris that costed us the game. But, Mac Jones' ceiling is very high for him. Expectations extremely high in New England. He had a great game. He'll bounce back today against the freaking goddamn Jets team that has no business being in the NFL. I'd rather take the XFL team over them any day. So
All right, McLovin is shitting on the Jets. It's a bad time to be a Jets fan. That team
Always.
stinks. Speaking of stinks, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Chicago Bears, who are 0-1 again. The Bears can just never seem to figure it out. I don't know, man. We'll see. I know the Bengals won week 1 over the Vikings, but there was that controversial fumble call.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook, obviously, it was called a fumble on the field. I think that's the only reason why it stayed a fumble, because there wasn't a clear camera angle to
No.
overturn it. But just a gut instinct, I don't think it was a fumble. I think he was down by contact, but they got the benefit of the call. Bengals went down. Obviously, a big time throw by Joe Burrow leads to a game winning field goal at the end. So
Yeah, how did you think he looked after tearing his ACL? I thought he looked pretty good. He was what, 20 of 27, 261 and 2 TDs.
yeah,
Can't beat that.
obviously a Vikings defense. They haven't looked the same ever since the Minneapolis Miracle, but I thought he looked pretty good. Obviously, it's not easy coming back from an injury like that, especially with how gruesome his was. So,
Oh, yeah, I fucking hate seeing that. As a guy who's had 2 knee surgeries himself, every time I see it, I'm like, fuck. Because like now I'm 31, years removed from them, and I just know it's like, yo, that sucks later in life for sure, boys. Like, get those millions now, though. Get those millions now. You love to see it. I'm gonna take the Bengals in this one to move to 2-0.
yeah, as me and Jack say, are the Bears back? Are they back? No, they're never back. But I mean, if they
Yeah.
put Justin Fields in, they might have a shot. But I think Andy Dalton's still their quarterback, which makes no sense. So if that's the
Yeah.
case, give me the Bengals.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm taking the Bengals as well. Now we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady welcoming the Atlanta Falcons, who were 0-1 in their first week. One thing right off the hop, the Falcons must get Kyle Pitts more involved. Only had 4 receptions last week. I think 31 yards or something like that. The long was an 18-yard pass. They need to get him more involved. Matt Ryan, it looks like, I don't know, is father time catching up to Matt Ryan, or what's been going on here the last couple of
he
seasons?
hasn't been the same ever since Super Bowl 51, and he is on a very, very steep decline to retirement. I'm not saying he's going to retire after this year, but his glory days are in the past. Obviously, he only went 21 for 35 for 164 yards against the Eagles. The Eagles.
I
They're not
know they,
they're not the
I,
Bucks. He might
I know.
he might throw 50 yards today. Like, I'm really feeling that. Like,
McLovin says he's going to throw 50 yards today. That's hilarious. You know who's going to throw more than 50 yards? Tom Brady. He was incredible on the banner night against the Dallas Cowboys. He threw 379 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, he threw a couple picks, one of which I didn't think was his fault.
no.
Gronk and Antonio Brown. What year is this? Like, what year is it? Like, all of a sudden I'm watching where we were out that night having beers, and it's like, boom, Gronkowski touchdown. And then you're like, oh, touchdown, Antonio Brown. Like,
Touchdown
what?
Gronkowski again. Like,
Yeah. It was crazy, man. I mean, Tom's got his guys down there in Tampa, and you know what? I know he threw 2 interceptions, but as long as he's putting 4 touchdowns in and doing that, the Bucks are a team to beat in this league, man.
guy threw 50 passes at 44 years old and led them once again 2-minute drill all the way down for a Ryan Suckup game-winning field goal against the Cowboys, which made me happy because fuck the Cowboys. But I
Yeah,
got
I
the
mean,
Bucks by 50 today.
Jack says Gronk looks completely natural. Nothing going on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally natural.
Yeah, he's natty, dude, for sure. He's natty. I'm obviously taking the Bucks by 1,000,000 in this game.
Bucks by infinity.
Yeah, Bucks by infinity. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Vikings lost in overtime to the Bengals. There was that whole little controversy that went
Gross.
on. I know, one thing I got to say, the Minnesota Vikings had all that promise, and then they get Kirk Cousins, and it just hasn't seemed to work out. This has to be the last season if they don't make the playoffs, that he's the guy under center.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of controversy after that amazing run they had to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum behind center, and they said, "Hey,
Yeah.
if we have the opportunity to go get an absolute a guy. He was pretty good. Kirk Cousins was in Washington, right? So a lot of promise there, and he just has not lived up to any expectations. He's taken them to one playoff game, and they won against the Saints, but after that, just nothing. It's just
No.
too much inconsistency in Minnesota, and the time's running out. Patience is running out for Minnesota fans.
Yeah, and as it should be. They should be running out of patience with it. It's a joke. Like this team goes, like you said, one game away, and then they actually grab a guy who's supposed to be their quarterback, and it just hasn't worked out. But well, you know who has worked out? Kyler Murray. What a after they had drafted what's his name, Rosen.
Yep.
The next year they take Kyler Murray and end up dumping him off, and what a great decision that was. I thought I thought the Cardinals looked really good against the Titans.
Oh yeah, and I had a lot of high expectations for the Titans going into that game. Obviously,
Me
they went out
too.
and got Julio Jones, but man, Kyler Murray, he just tore them apart, man. And is he in your MVP race this year? I mean,
I mean,
he's
he's an early candidate. I think
early
he's going to
candidate for
be
sure.
in the conversation near the end of the year. Yeah, I could see him being in there. I think Kyler Murray's a fantastic athlete, a fantastic quarterback. I like the Arizona Cardinals moving to 2-0 today.
Yep, I mean, just not enough for me for the Vikings. They got Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, but just too many weapons that Arizona has. DeAndre Hopkins
Yeah, he's
still
been
tearing it up.
incredible.
So give me the
Yeah,
Cardinals 2-0.
yeah, absolutely. Now the Tennessee Titans are going to take on the Seattle Seahawks at 4:25. Like we just brought up, the Titans, they need to get Julio Jones involved more. Tannehill always had a bit of trouble getting like his number one receivers involved, always was like a tight end and slot kind of guy. One quarterback that had no trouble last week was Russell Wilson. He threw 4 touchdowns, sorry, and was like 18 to 23 or something like that. And he had a fast start. So they'll be looking to get out and come out flying. I know the Seattle Seahawks love to do hurry up offense, like right out the gate, get the defense tired. I like the Seahawks to move to 2-0. I think the Titans are going to struggle this year.
I'm going to finally give a different pick than you today. I'm feeling the Titans today, and I'm just saying. Obviously, they got Brown. He's a freaking beast.
Yep.
Julio Jones. I think Tannehill. He's finally going to look at all of the tape from last week against the Cardinals and see what he did wrong. Obviously, it was their home opener. He doesn't want to start the year like that. He's going to be pumped up. Get Jones more involved. It's going to be a tight game, but I think the Titans might have this one.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we disagree on that one. Now we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Cowboys played great against the Bucks. There's really nothing wrong in losing to the Bucks. Dak Prescott was back to his usual self. Justin Herbert, though, he's a great quarterback too. This is going to be a dogfight today, buddy.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can put as much slander on you want to the Cowboys. They played an excellent game against Tom Brady, but it's Tom Brady, and he's the master of the 2-minute drill. As soon as he got the ball back with that much time left, you knew it was over. But
Yeah.
they had a great game. Obviously, it's frustrating when you lose on a last second field goal like that, but I think the Cowboys come out firing today. No disrespect to Justin Herbert. I just think the Cowboys, they have the weapons. They're going to be pumped up after that loss. So give me the Cowboys today.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys as well. McLovin, I got them moving to 1-1 as well. I mean, where's Zeke though? They
Yeah.
got to get him involved. And so as long as they find a way to get that all back up and running, things will be all right. Now we have the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs pulled off a massive fourth quarter comeback win over the Browns, like we talked about earlier. I got to ask you, when you look at Mahomes and you got Hill and Kelsey, like when you look at those three championship players and match them up against any team's top three players, like almost in the history of the league, McLovin, I mean, I think to 10, 20 years from now, the people are going to be talking about those three players with a ton of respect on their name because I have a hard time seeing who's going to stop this Kansas City team again. I know we say that every year.
I mean, let's face it, the only player that has ever stopped the Chiefs is Tom Brady.
Yeah, the only guy who can stop this team is Tom Brady. That's it.
That's scary to think about. I mean, honestly, you're going to look back, like you said, in 10, 20 years, and you're going to look back and just say Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey might be one of the most dynamic trios in NFL history. I mean, Kelsey is just
I'm with
an
you.
absolute unit. Hill is just too fast. You need to double cover him every single time. That's just how scary he is. And Mahomes can throw the ball like the full length of the field with no problem.
Yeah, he's incredible. But you know what? Lamar Jackson's no joke either. I like Lamar. I like the Ravens defense, but it's going to be 2-0 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they'll
Yeah,
get by
I
them
mean,
pretty
too
easily.
many injuries on both the defense and offense for Baltimore. Obviously, Marcus Peters, Carson Edmonds, it's just not enough. Give me the freaking Chiefs every day.
All right, then Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions take on the Green Bay Packers. Despite the loss, Jared Goff didn't look too bad in his Lions debut. They put up the 33 points. Will the Lions ever take that next step? I'm not so sure. But Aaron Rodgers definitely, if you're a Packers fan, you're hoping he had a really good week of practice and got a lot of reps because he was out of sync last week.
Yeah, I mean, MVP last year, absolute dominant. Obviously, not the ending they wanted with, controversial play calling in that NFC Championship game. And, all the drama that happened this offseason with Rodgers and the Packers front office, it looked like it kind of translated into that game. He only threw for, I think, 164 yards,
Yeah, he
2
just didn't look.
picks.
He didn't look engaged. He didn't look
No,
engaged.
not even close. I mean, you got a world-class receiver, in Devontae Adams, and
yeah, they got to find a way to get him the ball more. They just have to. You know what, McLovin? That's my upset this week. I'm taking the Lions.
I can't in good conscience take the Lions any day, kind of like the Jets or the Jaguars. Give me the Packers to bounce back.
Yeah, you got Aaron Rodgers bouncing back. Hey, we'll see what happens, guys. Bounce on over to youtube.com/tarpsoftsports. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and in your sister's diary. Take care, McLovin.